Hello and welcome to a session I am calling P-LIIT, which is a Pilates style low intensity interval training session. So instead of cardio, we are going to be using planks, and it's going to be funner. You may need a light weight. I'm using a 5-pound weight for one of the moves at the end. Otherwise, you just need a mat, perhaps a towel, and a great attitude. And here we go. We're going to start with just a 1-minute warm-up, lying on your back, knees bent. We're going to reach the arms open to the side and exhale, float back up again. Inhale, open, and exhale, reaching back up. Just getting the breath flowing, getting a little stretch across the chest and arms. And then let's hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side. Breathing in. Breathing out. We're going to reach the arms and legs up to the ceiling and circle the wrists and the ankles. Getting some circulation and blood flow through the body. And then bring it back down again, knees bent, and let's sway those knees side to side for a twist. Arms reaching out wide into a T shape. Let's bring the hands behind the head and begin our first move here. Hello, Chloe the cat. And it's our crisscross. So bring the elbow to the opposite knee and let's twist. We're going to do this move for about 45 seconds, and then we'll follow up with a 15-second plank. So twist, 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 reach one leg super straight, bring the other knee in. Let's add some doubles, little pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, pulse, and switch. Twist, twist, and switch. Stay with your breath, feel the rotation in the trunk of the body. And now we're just gonna hold one side. Let's really twist a little bit more. Switch to the other side, maximize that rotation. Come to the center, and we're going to do a little bit of rolling like a ball just to transition us into a seated position for our reverse plank. Legs straight, hands behind you. Let's lift the chest, let's lift the abdominals, let's lift the sacrum. Up, up, up. Breathe in. It's only 15 seconds, but somehow always feels like a little bit longer. And slowly with control, let's come right back down, rolling through the spine onto your back. For our second move here, which is a bridge lift. Exhale, lift the hips up. Inhale, lower down. Again, for another 45 seconds. Feet are hip width apart, toes are forward in front of the heels. Exhale up. Inhale, lower down. Try to lower down just for a millisecond and bring it back up again. Keep it in motion. Lifting the arms to the ceiling, we're going to pulse it out, 1 inch down, 1 inch up, pulse, pulse, breathe, breathe. You can do it. Tighten the tummy and knees to the chest. Let's follow up with those 3 rolling like a ball. Staying at the top for 15-second reverse plank. Hips high, heart to the sky. You can look up to the sky or forward to the toes, or even drop that head back. Looking behind you. Keep those arms strong, pushing down into the ground. And keep those abdominals activated. Let's lower it down. And bending the knees, rolling down through the spine for one more move here on our back. It's the double leg stretch. So arms overhead as legs stretch out, and exhale, pull it back in. Inhale, open, exhale, in. I'm keeping the head down for the first little bit, and then I'm lifting the head as I exhale, reach the arms forward, bending knees in. So you can keep the head down the whole time, or now I'm keeping the head up the whole time. Couple different variations here for the 45 seconds. Keep it going, keep it really smooth, and now just bringing the hands behind the head and doing the legs for the last few. You can do it. And here's our 3 rolling like a ball moves. And at the top, we're going to do that reverse plank, and if you want, you can even modify into this tabletop coming to you from the world of yoga move. Little bit more manageable than another straight leg reverse plank, but totally up to you and gives it a good variety for the body. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Keep pressing down, keep lifting up with the hips. And we're going to switch to a new starting position. From seated, I'm just placing a towel behind my low back for a little bit of support. And now we're doing roll downs, about halfway or 75% down, and bringing it back up again. Try to keep the legs still, the heels planted. Got 45 seconds of these roll downs and just adding a variation, stretching overhead at the bottom and bringing it all the way down and bringing it all the way up. But feel free to keep it halfway down or 3/4. We're going to move into straight leg roll downs and roll ups for our final few. And guess what? Visiting that reverse plank, collarbone to the sky. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Long and strong legs, so heels pressed down, and I'm pointing the toes to even try to reach the toes down to the ground. And nice controlled dismount. I'm just sitting right up on top of that towel and doing some twists 3 times to the side. Inhale tall. To the center and exhale, 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 inhale tall. Try to keep the legs still and keep that spiraling, lifting tall sensation through the trunk of the body, through the crown of the head. And I'm just looking at that back hand as I twist so the head and neck are participating in the rotation. And now just some singles for our final few. And back to that reverse plank, or if you prefer, knees bent into that tabletop pose. Glutes engaged to lift the hips high. Keep the breath flowing and supporting the move. Few more seconds, and let's lower it down. And now we're going to roll back halfway and kind of put those last 2 moves together into a twist. So you have a rounded spine, a C-curve shaped spine. Try to stabilize the legs and adding a single leg lift. So you're twisting towards that lifted knee. Or feel free to keep both feet down, or feel free to lift both legs up into that tabletop balance and twist from side to side, looking side to side. Happy thoughts from side to side. One more reverse plank. I'm going to opt for the tabletop pose. Breath in, hold and breathe. So this sequence has a lot of dynamic movement where you're holding still for some moments and then you're moving swiftly with control for other movements. Coming down onto our side now for our next sequence, we're going to circle that top leg about 10 times. Your bottom leg can be straight, a little bit more challenging, or the knee can be soft. And let's reverse the other direction for about 10 times. Try to stabilize the upper body. And we're going to follow this up with a side plank, which I'm going to do on my elbow. And I'm just going to use the towel for a little bit of elbow cushioning, stack the shoulders and hips, and lift those hips high up away from the mat. Maybe looking up to the ceiling, stretching that arm open and strong, and then a nice little stretch overhead. Control it on down and come back down to your side. And now we're going to bend and stretch that top leg. Inhale, knee bends in. Exhale, press it out straight and strong. I like a flexed foot here. And we have about 20 to use up that 45 seconds. Keep your abdominals connected, and you'll start to see that when I straighten the leg, I'm lifting my bottom side body a little bit away from the mat. So I'm getting a little bit more core activation here instead of just relaxing the trunk of my body down. And I'll keep the legs straight, point the toes for a few extra seconds, and let's visit that side elbow plank again. Nice openness across the chest, long collarbone. I've got feet flexed. Breath, 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 and control it down. One more move here on our side body, and these are just little pulses. So a little internal rotation where the top knee looks down to the bottom knee. So the heel is leading up, 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 a few inches higher than your hip and not all the way down. And part 2 is coming up a little higher on that elbow, and it just intensifies the sensation in that hip, glute, throughout the leg. You can do it. Keep lifting the side body away from the mat. And here we go, side plank time. Like you're trying to arc the bottom side body up and away from the ground. Arm can stretch overhead, reaching longer. And nice, slow, controlled dismount. We're going to move it over to side number 2. Let's start with the top leg circling. Try to open up the circles so they extend through the hip flexor. So you're circling a little bit behind your body 10 times and reverse. Let's point the toes and stretch the leg a little longer. Breathe in. Breathe out. Smiling helps. Breathing helps. And let's come up to that side plank. Stack the elbow under the shoulder and open up that top arm away from the bottom. Great work for our side body here and shoulder. You'll definitely feel shoulder work. Lowering it down for part 2, the bend and stretch. Knee bends in and exhale, press the leg super long so your top leg feels longer than your bottom leg when it is extended. And we're going to add the lift of the bottom side body. Every time the leg reaches, I want you to peel a little bit of your bottom side body away from the mat. A little bit more core connectivity. We have about 20 of these. And try to reach the last one a little bit straighter. Maybe point the toes and go for lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. And let's find that side plank. And if you prefer to be up on your palm instead of down on your elbow for your side plank, that's also an option. If it doesn't bother your neck, you can look up to the sky, reaching high, and then stretch that arm overhead. And slowly release down. And part 3, we're doing those little pulses. So internal rotation, heel is leading the way. And we'll take the first set down on the elbow and then option to come up a little higher to maximize the work throughout the glute and hip and leg and even side body. Side body has to bend a little bit more here when you come up higher. Happy thoughts, positivity, good vibrations will help you get through the hard times. Yes, and one more side plank. Here we go. Breathing in, reaching up. Deepen your abdominals, that will help. And let's release down. Lowering onto your abdominals, all the way down onto your mat. Stretching the legs back behind you. We're moving into some spinal extensions with our swan. So peel the upper body, the mid body up and away from the ground and lower it down. Lengthen up And lengthen forward, always lengthening. Option to look upwards to the sky. As we push up, we look up, little stretch through the neck. And I like exhale up and inhale down, and I'm just moving the hands a little bit closer to each other and a little bit closer to me and my shoulders. And then lifting the back legs as we lower, like a rocking horse motion, getting those glutes and hamstrings more involved. Pressing up, lowering down, the legs lift up. Great, and we're doing an elbow plank forward. Elbows under the shoulders, let's lift the tummy. You can always drop the knees and modify. Press back into those heels and feel the nice stretch along the legs. I'm not sure why 15 seconds feels so long. And moving into our next spinal extension, arms reach overhead, and we're going to lift the arms and legs at the same time with that exhale and inhale lower. Great work for our back body and shoulders. And if you want to modify, arm to opposite leg works really well, and then alternating. And a variation of the arms to the side, like wings of a bird. A little bit easier, so if you prefer, keep the arms overhead. And even easier is arms by the side, palms up. I just like the variation for the work in the triceps here, the openness at the front of the shoulders. And let's lower all the way down, coming all the way up into elbow plank again. Scoop those abdominals. Every exhale, belly button pulls up and in closer to the spine. Reach tailbone long. Press heels back. Nod chin in. Just 101 rules to apply all at once. And we're going to come up a little higher for this third piece here and move into push-ups. So we have 3 counts down, down, down. Exhale, push up. It's just a micro push up. If you want to drop the knees, go ahead. Little bend, bend, bend. And exhale, pushing up. Take a break when you need to, maybe just holding the plank, or child's pose is very close by if you need it. Otherwise, little micro bends. 3, 2, 1, exhale, push to the top of that strong plank. Just a few more times, you can do it. Just think, if you can do this, you can do anything. And just holding that plank at the top, 15 seconds. It's just a sensation. You can breathe through it. And pop those hips up high to the sky into downward dog, and we're going to walk the dog, bending one knee then the other. Or of course, child's pose if you like. Lengthen the arms, reach the collarbone back, and let's slowly roll up those legs to standing for our final sequence. We've got 3 moves here. This is where you may want to use a weight. Okay, so feet hip width apart, weight is in one hand, and it's a little bit of side body work. So we're just bending to the side, allowing that arm to feel heavier. And I have opposite hand on the shoulder. You can keep it on the hip if you prefer. We got 45 seconds here. A couple different arm variations, hand behind the head, a little bit harder, getting some stretch and strength simultaneously. Keep your knees soft and your tailbone heavy and your abdominals engaged. And let's hold this last one, stretching the arm overhead just for a few extra seconds. And instead of the plank, we're going to do a balance. So let's lift the heels high for 15 seconds. Stand tall. And side number 2. Move the weight over to the other side, and let's drop that weight down towards baby toe, really flexing our side body as we stretch the opposite side. Stay with your breath. Should not feel this in your low back, so soft knees and heavy tailbone. And hand can go to the opposite shoulder for arm variation or behind the head. And a few more times before we hold for that side body stretch. Extend that top arm overhead, drop a little lower, and bring it back to the center for the 15-second balance. Heels high. And if you can, arms reaching forward. Maybe you've got that weight. Maybe you bend the knees a little bit with high heels. Yay! Yes. Great. Can lower the weight. And move into our standing single leg stretch from vertical Pilates world. So opening the arms, kind of sweeping open, and then exhale, flexing the trunk of the body to reach down for that ankle. Inhale, open, exhale, reach. Inhale, open, exhale, folding over as that knee bends up and in towards the chest. You may teeter and totter, but you will focus and your core will connect and you will stick that balance. Get into the rhythm, find your focus point. And let's hold this last one. So you're folding over that leg, focus point on the ground, 15 seconds. Supporting leg has a soft bend in the knee. And release. Let's try side number 2. Extend the leg, and you could reach for the knee, the shin, or the ankle as you fold into that knee. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, open. I love doing single leg work because you can really see which side is weaker or shakier. So for me, this side is a little harder for my supporting leg, which might mean that that hip is a little bit weaker than the opposite hip. Focus looking down, keep pulling that knee up and in, tighten the tummy. You can do it, and let it go. Okay, hands to the back of the head, and we're going to go back to the side body bend, and we're going to add the lift of the leg as we drop the elbow towards that lifting leg. So we have bending from the bottom, bending from the top, lateral flexion in the middle. And exhale as you lift the leg and bend. Inhale to the center. Try to balance. That's how that supporting leg's working. Let's hold this one. Flex the foot, lift the leg a little higher, stretch that arm to the leg. Balance and breathe and focus. Good, great. And last move here to the other side. So you can always just keep the leg down and just do the top body, or feel free to add the lift of the leg. As we bend, bending into that lifting leg, exhale. Exhale with every lift. Press the head back into those hands so you're not jutting the chin forward. Take a break when you need to. And let's hold that balance. Flex the foot, reach the arm to the foot. More bend, more balance, shaky muscles. You can do it. Wow. Wow, you're a champion. What an Olympian. Good job. Let's just stretch it out with a wide straddle, dropping one shoulder forward, then switching the other side. Hips drop. A nice stretching twist. And moving that into more of a lunge, maybe reaching down to the ankle or foot. Keep the twist and switch other side. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Finish with a round of deep breath. Bend the knees to reach up with your inhale, and exhale, straighten as the arms lower. A few more times. Bring the palms together, folding forward, and just pop those hips up, toes forward into a forward bend. Shake out the head, heel toe the feet closer, and slowly rolling up to standing. You have done it. Congratulations. A quick, fast, and invigorating session. Till next time.